young, I fell in love, we used to hold hands, man, that was enough. Then we grew up, started to touch, used to kiss underneath the light on the back of the bus. Oh no, your daddy didn't like me much, and he didn't believe me when I said you were the one. Every day, she found a way out of the window to sneak out late. She used to meet me on the east side, in the city where the sun don't set. And every day, you know that we ride through the back streets of a blue Corvette. Baby, you know I just wanna leave tonight. We can go anywhere we want, drive down to the coast, jump in the sea. Just take my hand and come with me, yeah. We can do anything if you put a mind to it. Take your whole life, then you put a line through it. My love is yours if you're willing to take it. Give me a heart, cause I ain't gonna break it. So come away, start it today. Start a new life together in a different place. We know that love is how all these ideas came to be. So baby, run away with me.
17 and we got a dream to have a family, a house and everything in between. And then suddenly we're 10, 23 and now we got pressure for taking our life more seriously. We got a dead-end jobs and got bills to pay. Our old friends and now our enemies. And now I'm thinking back to when I was young, back to the day when I was falling in love. He used to meet me on the east side, in the city where the sun don't set. And every day, you know where we ride through the back streets in a blue Corvette. And baby, you know I just wanna leave tonight. We can go anywhere we want, drive down to the coast, jump in the sea. Just take my hand and come with me, singing. We can do anything if we put our mind to it. Take your whole life and you put a line through it. My love is yours if you're willing to take it. Give me your heart, cause I ain't gonna break it. So come away, starting today, start a new life together in a different place. Know that love is how all these ideas came to be. So baby, run away with me.
Run away now, run away now, run away now. Run away now, run away now, run away now.
He used to meet me on the east side.
She used to meet me on the east side.
He used to meet me on the east side.
She used to meet me on the east side, in the city where the sun don't set.
You said light my cigarette, so I lied to my mom and dad. I jumped the fence and I ran, but we couldn't go very far, cause you locked your keys in your car. So you sat and stared at my lips, and I could already feel your kiss. All nights and daydreams, sugar and smoke rings. I've been a fool for strawberries and cigarettes. Always taste like you. Headlights on me, racing through 16. I've been a fool for strawberries and cigarettes. Always taste like blue eyes, black jeans, lighters and candy. I've been a fool for strawberries and cigarettes. Always taste like you. Remember when you taught me fate? Said it'd all be worth the wait. Like that night in the back of the cab, when your fingers walked in my hand. Next day, nothing on my phone, but I can still smell you on my clothes. I was hoping that things had changed, but we went right back to your games. Nights and daydreams, sugar and smoke rings. I've been a fool for strawberries and cigarettes. Always taste like you. Headlights on me, racing through 16. I've been a fool for strawberries and cigarettes. Always taste like blue eyes, black jeans, light eyes and candy. I've been a always tastes like you. Long nights, daydreams, with that sugar and smoke rings. Always tastes like you. Red lights on me, racing through 60. I've been a fool to strawberries and cigarettes. Always tastes like blue eyes, your light jeans, light as a candy. I've been a fool to strawberries and cigarettes. Always tastes like you.
All of my life I've been searching for something. I give everything and I end up with nothing. I only hurt myself to please everyone else. So I packed up my things and the engine is running. 'Cause I just can't keep going like this. So I'm learning how to live without needing anybody, rolling like the wind, trying to leave it all behind me. Know that I'm not there, but finally feels like I'm getting somewhere. Headed out west where the sun's always shining. Back where I'm